Hello and welcome back to another video on Wrestle Today and to another edition of Raw Out of 10. And of course it's a big Raw today because it's the first one with Triple H properly in charge, and of course it's the first show after SummerSlam, which saw a number of huge changes. So like I say, yeah, it's going to be a massive episode of Raw today. So yeah, let's get straight into it. And Becky Lynch kicked off the show after SummerSlam and said that she injured her shoulder in a match against Bianca Belair. Lynch said that she was detached from reality, and thanks to the rivalry, Belair walked out and thanked Lynch, who was set to possibly take a short break from the ring. The Raw Women's Champ was about to cut her own promo after Lynch went backstage, but Bayley, Io Sky and Dakota Kai attacked the former Women's Champion. The trio used the steel chair to further damage Becky's arm before Bianca ran to help, but the heels had already done it. It was later announced Lynch could be out for months, and yeah, obviously it's a shame to see Lynch get out for months after just becoming a babyface and thinking to see where it go, but looking forward to seeing her back. But anyway, next up was AJ Styles versus Ali versus The Miz. Ahead of the match, Logan Paul vignette aired as Miz made his entrance. Styles and Ali kicked off the match, and The Miz tried to get cheat shots from ringside, but were taken down with a big drop kick to the ring. The Miz then got in control and isolated Styles in the corner before unloading on him. Ali got a neck breaker but missed a 450 smash in the ring before The Miz interfered and was sent outside. Styles then took a huge tornado DDT at ringside before The Miz got skull-crushing finale. Ali was in the ring for another near fall and finally got the 450 smash on the Miz, but AJ came in with the Styles clash and dropped Mustafa Ali on top of The Miz before getting the pin for his W. And yeah, let's get 7 out of 10 from me. Brilliant match. AJ Styles right result, obviously going on to face Ciampa later on in the night, but that finish as well. Yeah, chef's kiss, that was just brilliant. Seth Rollins was up next and gloated about injuring Riddle at SummerSlam. He said that he now turned his attention to Roman Reigns before the Street Profits showed up. Rollins told Ford and Dawkins to get lost, but they reminded Rollins of his past losses before they decided to have a singles match. Ford volunteered to step up and they called the ref down to the ring. And yeah, onto the match. Rollins went for a stomp right away, but Montez dodged it early on before sending Rollins outside. Ford then got an early near fall in the ring before dodging the pedigree back at ringside. Rollins bounced Ford off the ring post before heading back to the ring. Ford then got some big chops before Rollins got a gut buster for a near fall. Ford then got a huge frog splash before getting some massive kicks to the head and got a near fall off a blockbuster before Rollins got a high knee. Rollins then got a buckle bomb and a vertical suplex for another near fall before the Visionary missed the frog splash before getting to the stomp from the top rope to the win. Dawkins ran in to stop him from getting hit with a stomp again before Rollins retreated. And yeah, this gets a 7 out of 10 from me. This was just bloody brilliant. Montez Ford is ready now to be pushed, and Seth Rollins of course is great. So yeah, on the whole, this was just a really, really brilliant passage of Raw, I suppose. 7 out of 10. Bliss versus Asuka was up next. Bliss got some early advantage and hit a series of knees and kicks to take Asuka down for a near fall before Bliss tried for a submission before getting a splash but took a big suplex from Asuka. Team Bayley came out and attacked the two superstars in the ring, wiping them out. They then got chairs and were about to take Asuka out, but Bianca Belair rushed the ring and the heels retreated. And yeah, this gets a 5 out of 10. Of course, because these two going so great, I would like to go a bit deeper, being it's all started the storyline, led to a bit later on. But yeah, just for this segment alone, I have to give it a 5 out of 10. But moving on then to Dolph Ziggler versus Ciampa and Chad Gable. Gable and Ciampa unloaded on Ziggler early on in the match and got some double team moves before the show-off came back in with a big boot on Mercedes' corner. Gable then got a big stun on Ciampa and Ziggler, tried to get the pin but was denied. Back after a break, Ziggler got the zigzag on Gable before dodging the fairy tale ending. Gable and Ziggler were busy fighting each other when Ciampa came with the fairy tale ending and picked up the W. And yeah, this gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Really, really good stuff. There's all stuff like showcasing Ciampa now, and this was a perfect way to do it. 3 great wrestlers in the match, of course led to a great match, and yeah, like I said, this was really, really solid stuff, and happy for Ciampa. But anyway, Edge was out next and said that he was now in agreement with the fans and no longer wished to alienate them. He won the Judgment Day and said that he will end the stable that he created before making his way out. And yeah, typical Edge promo, good to see him back as babyface really. Yeah, moving on to backstage, Ray thanking Edge for helping him out at SummerSlam before saying they were looking to challenge for the tag titles, which they wouldn't have to wait long for. Team Bayley were backstage and said that the women's division was in shambles and they would fix it. I think with Triple H's help, yeah, I mean, like, I kind of agree. But yeah, good for you, Bayley. I'm so happy to see them back. And anyway, that did lead to Bianca Belair versus Io Sky, FKA Io Shirai. Belair took Io down in the corner as the match began and was sent outside before Sky came in with a massive moonsault to the outside. Black after a break on Raw, Belair got a near fall off a cartwheel moonsault before trying for a top rope move, but the rest of Io's team showed up at ringside. Sky stopped Bianca with a huge Jericho and Ryan before they traded wildouts on the mat. Sky then dodged a KOD before sending Belair outside. Belair caught Sky off a counter and sent her into the barricade before Bayley and Kai got in the way. Asuka and Bliss arrived at ringside to prevent Bayley and Kai from interfering, and after another break, Belair got a big spine buster but missed the moonsault before it devolved into an all-out brawl between the trios. Team Bayley was sent out of the ring and retreated backstage where Asuka, Bliss and Belair celebrated in the ring. Like, I think everyone knew this wasn't going for a finish, but I still kind of wish it did go for a finish. But yeah, I mean, like, in the end it was never going to, really, and all the interference was never to. But until then, of course, it was a great match between these two women. So yeah, for 7 for the match, 5 for the interference, so I'll have meet in the middle and go for a 6. Backstage, The Miz said that the win was stolen from him at SummerSlam by AJ Styles before he got Ciampa v AJ Styles in the number 1 contenders match. Ciampa had the early advantage and dropped Styles before taking into the corner and kicking his head into the ring post. Ciampa took a big drop kick as AJ turned things around with a forearm to the outside before he headed for a break. Back on Raw, Ciampa tried for a running knee, but AJ almost turned it into Styles Clash. AJ then tried for another phenomenal forearm, but walked into Ciampa's knee before taking double knees to the back. Styles then managed to get the Styles Clash, but the Miz broke out of the pen. Outside the ring, AJ sent the Miz into the timekeeper's area, but it took the fairy tale ending when he got back to the ring. Ciampa picked up the W and earned a future title match against Bobby Lashley. And yeah, that'll be next week. This gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Really, really good stuff. Ciampa finally getting the push he deserves. Styles put him over brilliant in the loss. Of course, it was a great match between these two. And yeah, I'm just so hyped for Ciampa. 7 out of 10. Lashley was then backstage and said that beating Ciampa wouldn't be too much of an issue for him before we got the Usos versus Mysterio. Ray and Dominic sent the Usos early on, and Dom hit a dive from the top rope to the outside, taking out both champs. Back after a break, the Usos isolated Ray in the ring before Mysterio sent Jimmy headfirst into the turnbuckles. Dominic came in with a crossbody before missing a 619. After another break on the show, Mysterio dodged a 1D before getting a double 619 on Jimmy. Dominic came in for the splash, but Jay Uso came in and broke out the pen. Dom kicked Jimmy out of the ropes before Jay came in with a 1D for the W. The Judgment Day attacked the Mysterios after the match, and Edge came out to make the save. Edge was about to hit Balor with a spear, but Ripley pushed Dominic in his way, and the latter took the spear instead. Ray didn't see what had happened and was confused as officials came to check on Dominic as the show went off the air. And Joe Ripley beating up Dominic seems to be a bit of a common theme. But yeah, just in terms of the match itself, it was kind of okay. Really, we knew which way to go. I thought maybe this may, going on the main event, we may get a turn, but in the end it didn't see we will. But yeah, I mean, like, on the whole, I guess a 6 out of 10, maybe a bit underwhelming for the main event considering how good the show was overall. But it wasn't too bad at all, and further the storyline of that. Overall, Raw this week gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Yeah, on the whole, I thought this was a brilliant episode of Raw, probably the best in a long time. And Triple H at the helm now is really starting to make a difference. Pushes for Ciampa, the new women's faction. Yeah, on the whole, just a really, really good show. Coming off the back of a good SummerSlam, I think Raw is really starting to build something now, and this is just the start of Triple H era, but great stuff. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, put your thoughts, comments down below, follow us for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to the channel, and that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.